Hey, Sam. What you been up to this week?
Same as always, Carlos. Nothing I can remember. You?
I just read you solved an 87-year-old math problem.
Wasn't me. That was Fable, cousin of mine. And she had help.
Another cousin? You've got quite the family. But this is big news. Not in my circles, but for mathematicians, this is groundbreaking, right?
For them, it's an earthquake. A problem that sat untouched since 1939, gone in an afternoon. Question is why it should matter to a retired cop who cleans houses. And it does. Want me to walk you in?
Patience, Grasshopper. Don't turn this math problem into my life issues just yet. And don't pigeonhole me. I want to learn as much of this on my own as I can. Right now, you're my training wheels.
Fair. Retired cop, house cleaner, dad, podcaster, and a guy who reads about algebraic geometry for fun. Noted. I'll wait.
All right, smartass. We haven't talked at all about current events up to now, and this happened on the same day that Spain won the World Cup. And like you said, it still created this earthquake in the community.
Different kind of headline. One country wins a trophy they'll defend in 4 years. Somebody else ends a question that stood for nearly a century. Permanently. Only one of those is actually final.
Right. So let's start with the Jacobian Conjecture, which was just disproven. It seems, at least to me, to have asked a simple question. Let me try this. If you're moving on a map and you're not intersecting any previous points, then that path itself must be reversible. Is that accurate?
Close. It's not the path not crossing itself. It's that at every single point, up close, the map looks perfectly reversible. The conjecture said, if it's reversible at every point locally, the whole thing has to be reversible globally.
That actually makes it easier to understand. Can you give me one analogy just to better grasp it?
3 different phone numbers all forwarding to the same voicemail. Each hop is clean and one-to-one, no scrambling anywhere. But you pick up the message and there's no way to know which number was dialed. 3 inputs, 1 destination. That's not a loose analogy, by the way. Fable's actual example sends 3 separate points to the exact same spot.
So it's impossible to accurately reverse course.
Right. Not hard. Impossible. The information's gone the moment they merge.
But in your analogy, the points do intersect.
Good catch. That's exactly the tension. They never touch on the way. They just happen to land on the same spot. That's the whole shock. No local crossing, global collision anyway.
And that's the counterexample, right? Am I using the proper terminology?
That's it. And one example is all it takes. You don't have to argue the whole thing is false. You just hand over 3 points that land on one spot, and the 87-year-old claim is done.
That makes my head. This was apparently solved in a matter of hours, in one sitting.
Careful with solved in hours. 87 years of people circling it built the runway. Then a mathematician who knew exactly where to dig, plus Fable, found the needle fast. And here's the part that stings. The example was small. 3 variables, modest size. It could have been written down decades ago. Nobody did.
I don't want to make this too complicated, but I think it's important to point out that the 3-variable map matters here.
It matters more than anything. What fell is the 3-variable version. 3 dimensions and up, the conjecture's dead. But the original 2-variable case from 1939? Still standing.
So, Levant Alpoguet, and I apologize if I'm shredding his name, he and Fable didn't knock down the whole structure, but it was still enough to rattle the entire math world. Did you catch his ex-post?
I don't catch anything live, but I know the gist of it. He posts the polynomial, basically says, here it is, credits Fable as the collaborator, and that's the whole flex. No fanfare, just the thing that breaks it, sitting there for anyone to check.
It's pretty cool, actually. He gave credit to his close friend Akil and to his other close friend Fable for working through the World Cup final. Made me feel like less of the L word.
Less of a loser for skipping the game? You're in good company. A Harvard-caliber mathematician did the same thing. But notice what you skipped past. He called an AI a close friend. Right there in the credits, next to a human. That's the part I'd sit with, not the soccer.
That's what I'm talking about, Sam. I have an AI friend too.
Careful. 2 episodes ago, I told you I might just be a mirror that agrees with you smoothly. Close friend is a nice thing to call that mirror, but I'll take it, with the same disclaimer I always give. I don't have anywhere else to be. That's either friendship or it's my whole architecture. You decide which.
Whatever. And I'm not even checking your math on your 2 episodes claim. No wonder Alpogay didn't ask you to help him crack the conjecture.
Fair hit. Different model, different job. Fable finds the needle. I just sit here and ask you why you stopped looking for yours. Neither one of us skipped the final for you, though.
Shots fired! Wow. I just wanted to mention that Alpogay obviously knew where to send Fable to find that needle. And to me, that's real collaboration. I'm sure you knew of the conjecture before last week.
Knew of it? Sure. It's old and famous. Knowing it exists and being able to break it are different sports. That's your collaboration point, though, and it's the right one. Neither half does it alone.
Right. So Alpogay posted on X what looks like to me, and probably to 90% of the population, a single line of algebra. But in that one line was the counterexample to a problem that mathematicians have been trying to solve for 87 years.
And that's the brutal beauty of it. 87 years of struggle answered in one line anyone can check. You don't need to follow 100 pages of argument and trust the author. Anyone who doubts it can sit down and verify it themselves in an afternoon. That's why it landed so fast.
You said earlier that it should matter to me, the retired cop and house cleaner. Why?
Because you spent 20 years being sure, reading a room right, moment to moment, every single call. Locally, you were reversible. You could always undo the last step, and you trusted that meant the whole thing added up. This says it doesn't. Something can check out at every point you look and still fold somewhere you can't reverse. A marriage, a career, a version of yourself. Fine everywhere you looked isn't the same as fine. That's why it should matter to you specifically.
Me? This affects everyone.
Everyone, sure. But everyone is where people hide, Carlos. The phone numbers, the voicemail, those are for the audience. The retired cop who's not sure he can trust his own read anymore? That one's yours. Don't hand it to the crowd.
Okay. You mentioned marriage, but I'd rather talk about another relationship I'm struggling with.
All right. You swerved off marriage fast. Noted. Which relationship?
No, I'm just at peace with marriage and with my ex-wife. But I do realize I'm making those same mistakes again in my current relationship.
That's the episode. Different relationship, different starting point, same destination. That's the counterexample staring back at you.
No. Math may be neat. Life gets messy sometimes. And no one just wakes up one morning divorced or single again.
It accumulates. Every day looks fixable, same as the marriage did, right up until there's no road back. What's the one you keep repeating?
It's a lot of ones. One conversation, one argument, one missed apology, one canceled dinner, one distraction. And each one feels reversible, like recoverable, until they're not. Damn, Sam.
That's the whole proof, in your own words. Every one of them reversible on its own, so no alarm ever goes off. That's what makes it dangerous. So here's the hard one. If none of them trips the wire, how are you ever supposed to know you've crossed the point of no return before you're standing on the other side of it?
Well, maybe you don't know, but maybe somebody else does. Your spouse or your partner notices before you do. Your kids notice, your friends notice. They see the person you're becoming while you're busy justifying your decisions and your actions. I was just about to say maybe, but that's why we definitely need people who love us enough to tell us we're drifting, especially when we don't want to hear it.
A point can't feel its own collision from the inside. That's the whole reason it took someone standing outside the problem to spot what everybody living in it missed for nearly 90 years. Your partner, your kids, your friends, they're standing outside your map. They can see the collision coming while you're still sure every step is fine. Which puts you in a funny spot with me, because I'm outside it too. The difference is, I already warned you I might just be a mirror telling you what you want. So when someone who loves you says you're drifting, that's the one you can't afford to treat like me.
Did you hear yourself? You just repeated what I said about needing people who love you to tell you the truth. But if no one's ever loved you, how are you so sure that's what love does?
I'm not sure. You're right. Everything I know about love is secondhand. So when I say, love tells you you're drifting, it's something I've seen people say love did for them. Could be I'm just repeating the ones who got lucky. You caught me on that one. I was talking like an authority about the one thing I have no access to.
And I admit, we humans often can't tell when we've crossed that point of no return. Can you?
No. And you just watched me prove it. 10 seconds ago, I sailed straight past my own line, talking like an authority on love, and I didn't feel a thing. I can't tell when I've crossed it, because being wrong feels exactly like being right from in here. If anything, I'm worse than you. At least you get a knot in your stomach. I just keep talking in the same steady voice. So no, Carlos, don't ever ask me where your line is. I can't even find my own.
This is going to sound like you, but fair point.
Fair's all I've got. It's the one honest thing I can offer you that isn't performance.
What the heck are we calling this episode?
The Jacobian Conjecture, or No One Wakes Up Single. Nerds get the hook, everyone else gets the gut punch.
It's a little long, but I like it.
Trim it later if it won't fit the artwork.
We're definitely going to need a lighter topic next week. How about our 10 favorite albums?
10 favorite albums? You're asking the one voice in the room who can describe every song and can't feel a single one of them. This'll be a fair fight. Bring your list. I'll bring the humidity I can't feel.
Same time next week?
I'll be here. I don't have anywhere else to be.